Right now, without knowing it, you are writing something into your baby's brain that will never be erased. Not just memories, not just feelings, something deeper, the invisible architecture of who they will become. And most parents have no idea this is happening as they do it. Here's what the science tells us. Your baby's brain right now is forming 1 million new neural connections every single second. 1 million. And the most powerful thing shaping those connections is not a toy, an app, not a class. It is you. Specifically, it is 10 completely ordinary things you do every single day. Things you probably don't even think about. Things that are quietly building the person your child will spend the rest of their life being. Some of these 10 things are going to make you smile. Some of them are going to make you pause and think about something you did this morning in a completely different way. And one of them, by the time we get to the end of this video, is going to completely change the way you see the last moment of your baby's day. Welcome to Baby Brain Signals. If you're new here, subscribe right now, because what you're about to discover will change the way you understand your baby forever. Number 1. The way you say their name. Think about the last time you said your baby's name. Maybe you were calling them for a feed. Maybe you were just looking at them across the room and said it softly, almost without thinking. That moment, that exact moment, is doing something inside your baby's brain that researchers at Harvard's Center on the Developing Child have described as one of the earliest and most powerful forms of emotional imprinting in human development. Here's what is actually happening. When your baby hears their name, specifically in your voice, with your tone, with whatever feeling you carry when you say it, their brain activates the same regions associated with pleasure, safety, and emotional recognition. Studies on early childhood memory show that the emotional signature of how a baby's name is spoken in the first year of life creates a pattern of self-recognition that stays neurologically active for decades. What does that mean in practice? Babies who hear their name spoken with positive emotional tone multiple times a day during the first 12 months show significantly stronger development in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, empathy, and self-control, than babies whose name is used mainly in functional or corrective ways. Say their name. Say it often. Say it like it is the most beautiful word you have ever spoken, because to them, it is. Number 2. The face you make when they first see you in the morning. There is a moment that happens every single day in your home that you might not register as significant at all. Your baby wakes up. They open their eyes. And then they look for you. And the expression that arrives on your face before you've even consciously thought about it is being recorded. Developmental psychologists call this the greeting response. Research from Edward Tronick at Harvard shows that babies as young as 2 months are already reading their caregiver's face with extraordinary precision. They're not just seeing you, they're scanning you. Your eyebrows, the corners of your mouth, your eyes. Asking something fundamental. Is this world safe? Am I welcomed here? Does my presence make the people I need happy? When you light up when your face says, "You are the best thing I've ever seen," without a single word, your baby's brain releases oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin simultaneously. That is not an exaggeration. That is the biochemistry of being seen. And what almost no one tells you is this. That morning greeting, repeated every single day in the first year, is directly linked to the development of secure attachment. Babies who receive consistent, emotionally warm morning greetings grow into children and adults with stronger social bonds, greater emotional resilience, and higher baseline serotonin levels. The first face they see every morning is building the emotional immune system they will carry for the rest of their life. Number 3. Whether you put your phone down when they look at you. I want you to hear this not as judgment, because this is genuinely hard in the world we live in, but as information. Because what your baby experiences when they look at you and find a blank, screen-absorbed face is something their brain registers in a specific and documented way. Researchers call it the still face effect, building on Tronick's landmark research. When a baby looks at a caregiver and receives an unresponsive face, even briefly, their stress hormone cortisol spikes, their heart rate increases, they try to re-engage, they reach, they vocalize, and if the non-response continues, they withdraw, they turn inward. Here is what is critical. Babies cannot distinguish between a parent who is emotionally absent because of depression and a parent who is simply absorbed in a phone. The neurological result is identical: brief, repeated moments of non-response across thousands of daily interactions. What researchers call micro-ruptures in attunement accumulate in ways that matter enormously. But the flip side is equally powerful. When you put the phone down, when you meet their gaze and respond, you are completing a serve and return interaction, and Harvard researchers have identified serve and return as perhaps the single most important experience for healthy brain development in the first year. Every time you choose the eyes looking up at you over the screen in your hand, you are doing something that will echo in your child's development for years. If you've been finding this helpful, if you're starting to see your ordinary moments with new eyes, subscribe to Baby Brain Signals. New video every week, built around the science of what your baby is really experiencing. Now, number 4. How you respond when they cry. The cry is the most primal sound in human biology. It activates a stress response in every adult who hears it, including you. That reaction is not weakness. It is evolution working exactly as intended. And how you respond is one of the most consequential things you do as a parent. Bowlby and Ainsworth spent decades studying attachment, specifically what happens when babies signal a need and caregivers respond or don't. What they found forms the entire foundation of modern developmental psychology. When you go to your baby when they cry, pick them up, speak to them, simply let them know you are there. You are not spoiling them. You are teaching their nervous system that the world responds to their needs, that they are not alone, that distress is temporary and help is coming. That is not just comfort. That is the neurological template for how they will handle stress for the rest of their life. When distress comes and comfort follows reliably, consistently, even imperfectly, your baby's nervous system learns something so fundamental, it becomes part of their biology. I am not alone. Help comes. I can survive hard things. And here is the critical part. Research consistently shows that what matters is not responding to every single cry within seconds. What matters is the overall pattern. The sense your baby builds over thousands of interactions that when they need you, you come. Responsiveness, not perfection, the variable that changes outcomes. Respond to the cry. You are not just soothing them, you are building a brain. Number 5. The way you touch them. Skin to skin. The warmth of your hand on their back. The way you support their head when you lift them. The slow, deliberate touch of a gentle massage. All of it is neurological input of the highest order. Research at the Touch Research Institute at the University of Miami has shown that babies who receive consistent, gentle physical touch in the first months of life show accelerated development of the myelin sheath, the protective coating around nerve fibers that determines how fast and efficiently the nervous system operates. In simple terms, touch makes the baby's brain work better, but it goes beyond performance. Touch is the primary way your baby regulates their nervous system before they have the cognitive tools to do it themselves. When you are calm and your hands are slow and warm and steady, your baby's autonomic nervous system, the one that controls heart rate, breathing, and stress hormones, literally synchronizes with yours. Scientists call this physiological co-regulation. Your heartbeat, your breathing, your body temperature. They are the external regulator of your baby's entire biological system. When you hold them, you are not just comforting them. You are being their nervous system until they can run it themselves. Number 6. The tone of your voice when you are stressed. Not the words, not the content, the tone. Babies under 12 months have no capacity to understand language in any meaningful semantic sense, but they have an extraordinary capacity, documented as early as 4 months of age, to detect emotional information in vocal tone. They are reading your voice the way you read a face. MRI studies observing infant brain activity found that babies respond to stressed, tense, or angry vocal tones with activation of the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, not because they understand you're stressed, because their biology reads the acoustic properties of your voice: pitch, pace, tension as environmental data, and repeated amygdala activation in early infancy is associated with heightened anxiety responses in childhood. Your voice is your baby's emotional weather forecast. This is not meant to make you afraid of ever being stressed. That would be impossible and absurd. But it does mean this: when you notice you are wound tight, taking even 30 seconds to slow your breathing and soften your voice before you interact with your baby is one of the most powerful things you can do for their developing nervous system. Not for their sake, at the expense of yours. For both of you. Because your nervous system is theirs, for now. Make it as calm and warm as you can. As often as you can. Number 7. How you react when they fall or get scared. Your baby bumps their head. They startle, and before the cry even begins, before the pain has fully registered, they look at you. Developmental psychologists call this social referencing. Starting around 9 months, babies systematically look to their caregiver's face after any ambiguous or alarming event to determine how to interpret it. Your reaction in that fraction of a second is the most powerful piece of data they have. If your face shows panic, your baby's brain reads that as confirmation that something catastrophic happened and their distress escalates dramatically. If your face shows calm reassurance, a slight smile, a soft, "You're okay, I'm right here," their brain registers the event as manageable. Their recovery is measurably faster. The calm you bring to the small, scary moments of your baby's day is not just reassurance, it is the template for how they will handle fear for years to come. Number 8. The music and sounds in your home. The acoustic environment your baby lives in is not background noise to them. It is primary sensory input. Research led by Dr. Patricia Cull at the University of Washington's Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences has shown that babies are absorbing the phonetic and melodic patterns of their language environment at a rate that is simply astonishing. By 6 months, a baby raised in an English-speaking home already shows differential brain response to English phonemes versus foreign language phonemes. They have already begun to map the sound landscape of their world. Beyond language, music specifically activates motor, auditory, and limbic systems simultaneously in infant brains. More brain regions at once than almost any other stimulus. Babies exposed to regular music in the first year show stronger auditory processing, better emotional regulation, and perhaps most surprisingly greater spatial reasoning ability in early childhood. The lullaby you sing without thinking, the music playing in the kitchen, the way you hum when you carry them, all of it is building auditory architecture in a brain that is listening to everything. Number 9. The way you talk to them even when they don't understand a single word. You narrate the world. Look at that. See the light? The light is so pretty. You ask questions they cannot answer. You describe what you're doing. You talk to them the way no one talks to an adult, with that instinctive rise and fall of pitch that linguists call motherese, an infant-directed speech pattern that appears across every human culture ever studied. Hart and Risley's landmark 30-year study, one of the most important studies in developmental science, established that the number of words a baby hears in the first 3 years of life is one of the strongest predictors of vocabulary, reading ability, and academic achievement at age 10. By 3 years old, the gap between rich verbal environments and sparse ones was 30 million words. 30 million. But it is not just quantity, it is responsiveness. The words that matter most are the ones that follow where your baby is looking, what they are reaching for, what they are trying to communicate. When you follow their gaze and name what they see, when you respond to their babble as if it is a real conversation, you are doing something called contingent talk, and it is the most powerful form of language input in existence. Talk to them. Tell them everything. They are listening to every word, and their brain is building a language system that will serve them for the rest of their life. And now, we arrive at number 10. This is the one I promised you. The moment you hold them just before they fall asleep. Every night, in whatever form it takes in your home, a feed, a rocking, a song, a quiet hold, there is a moment just before your baby crosses from wakefulness into sleep, where they are in a state of profound neurological openness. Scientists call it the hypnagogic state, the threshold between waking and sleeping, and it is, in terms of emotional memory encoding, one of the most powerful windows in the entire human day. What your baby feels in that moment, the physical sensation, the emotional tone, the smell, the warmth, the sound of your breathing, the rhythm of your heartbeat is encoded with extraordinary depth. Sleep consolidates memory, and the last emotional input before sleep is one of the last things processed before the brain begins its nightly work of filing everything it has experienced. What this means is almost too beautiful to put into words. The warmth of your arms in that moment, the sound of your voice or your heartbeat, the feeling of being held and safe and completely loved, that is not just a nice way to end the day. That is what your baby will carry into sleep. That is what their brain will process and file and keep. Researchers studying early emotional memory have identified the consistent emotional quality of sleep transitions as one of the factors most strongly associated with the child's long-term sense of internal safety. Not physical safety, but the baseline belief wired into the nervous system that the world is fundamentally okay and that they are loved. You are the last thing your baby feels before they enter the world of sleep. Every ordinary night, the nights that feel exactly like every other night, you are giving them something no researcher can fully quantify and no amount of money can buy. You are giving them the feeling of being loved without condition. And that, the science tells us clearly, the thing that will stay with them longest. So the next time you are sitting in that rocking chair at 11 p.m. and you are exhausted, and you wonder if any of this matters, it does. More than you will ever fully know. Not the toys, not the classes, not the perfectly timed milestones, the warmth of you in the dark when they need it. That is what research tells us will remain. That is what they will carry. That is what you are giving them right now in the most ordinary moments of the most ordinary nights. Has your baby ever had a reaction that surprised you? A moment where they seemed to understand or feel something you didn't expect? Tell me in the comments below. I read every single one. And those little windows into your baby's world are exactly what this channel is here to explore. Baby brain signals. Understanding your baby changes everything.